Welcome to Audio Fixation, the channel for audio nerds. And what better way to start this brand new channel than to talk about digital audio players? Yeah, you've heard that right, digital audio players, or DAPs as they are rather affectionately known. But I hear you say, this isn't 2003 when the iPod ruled the world and made Steve Jobs quite rich in the process. Who the heck needs a DAP nowadays? Especially when you've got all these fancy smartphones like my Samsung here, which are quite capable of playing all the music through streaming services. Well, I've got a few things to say to that really. Firstly, your fancy schmancy phone has probably, thanks to Apple feeling brave a few years ago, not got a 3.5mm headphone jack. Thanks for that, Apple. Next time you're feeling brave, can I just suggest that you go and do some ice climbing or something rather than removing a much loved component? Yup, the 3.5mm headphone jack remains the best way to enjoy the highest quality music through wired headphones. And guys, before you start pelting me with your Bluetooth earbuds and yelling, please be aware that although the newer Bluetooth headphones and earphones are very, very nice and certainly much more convenient than a tangly load of wires, Bluetooth technology is not yet capable of delivering a truly lossless audio experience and is prone to all manner of other problems, which I think we'll go into in an upcoming video. Now, I appreciate my AirPod Pros here quite a lot, and I've just noticed in fact that my computer has auto-corrected AirPods to AirProd. That's a much better name. Come on, Apple, get on it. And I think these sound pretty decent, but if I want to bliss out some throwback music like this, My Bloody Valentine's landmark album, Loveless, absolutely gorgeous album from 1991, just look at it. Beautiful artwork as well. I'll always want to listen to it in the highest quality CD quality FLAC, and I will always reach for the wires, and I'll be saving myself quite a lot of money while I'm at it. So here we have the Moondrop Starfields, great pair of Chinese IEMs. Let's see if we can get a nice picture of them. Oh, look at that, sparkly. Even these at £79 sound far better than the £249 AirPods. Secondly, a bit like my lovely wife, my phone is an occasional source of pain as well as, of course, a constant source of pleasure. I do hope she isn't watching this or I'm in big trouble. And no, I don't just mean when I drop my phone on my face when I'm falling asleep reading a Kindle book. Because like you, I'm constantly being bombarded by all manner of notifications, texts, YouTube, anything really, WhatsApp, emails. It's all a bit too much, and sometimes I just want to lose myself in music with no distraction. So it's so nice being able to put the phone in a drawer, open a good book, pour some Diet Coke and fire up some Niels Fram. Thirdly, although I adore a bit of Spotify action when I'm out and about, I'm a total music hoarder and I have thousands of CDs all ripped to my hard drive in lossless FLAC. I just, like actually owning my music rather than renting it. Getting those files onto my phone with its meager 128 gigs of internal storage is a total pain, and it's so annoying that even Android manufacturers are abandoning SD card support in favor of fixed internal storage. Here I have a teensy weensy little micro SD card, 400 gigs of digital storage goodness, packed with days worth of FLAC tunes, as the cool kids probably don't say anymore. And I can keep listening to my offline music even if I have no data connection to stream Spotify or Tidal. Of course, I'm being a little bit harsh towards phones. Hook this Samsung or indeed an iPhone up to a decent DAC, something like, for example, the Audio Quest Dragonfly Red that I've got here, and bingo, you've got quite a decent music player setup. And we'll be looking at that option in another video, along with the best software to run on Android and Apple. But let's face it, the real reason us audio geeks all love DAPs is because they're shiny toys like this was when I got it all those years ago. And they also happen to play music beautifully. And although the golden age of iPods has long since passed, you can find a dizzying array of new DAPs on Amazon, ranging from cheap and nasty rubbish for 20 quid to some super premium numbers from the likes of Astel and Kern for several thousand squid. Now, you will not be surprised to hear that in this video we're not taking a deep dive into the expensive end of the money pit, mainly because I haven't got any subscribers and I've got even less loose change to squander on audio porn. No, instead we're going to look at, where's it gone? We're going to be looking at this absolute stonking offering from Fiio, which is the M3K. And I think it probably represents the best way to tap into some budget audio goodness. This one, you see, can currently be had for the very reasonable sum of 59 of our Great British pounds, which I think is an absolute bargain for a really capable device. I've had mine for a few months now, and I'm absolutely loving this mini powerhouse. Now, if you didn't know, Fiio is a well-established Chinese purveyor of digital audio products. They've been making very well-reviewed DAPs, headphone amps, cables, in-ear monitors and all that kind of stuff for many years, and their stuff is readily available, certainly in the UK, from Amazon. They make both budget-friendly products like this one, along with super premium stuff like the M15 DAP at over £1,000. Now, I would love to try one of those. Fiio, if you're watching, how about it? Come on! But back to YouTube reality. Just take a look at how solid this is. I reckon it could handle a few drops without total destruction setting in. Not something you could say about today's modern smartphones, which are much more fragile. Fiio even bundles in a rubbery little case, which has kept mine scratch-free despite heavy use. The case is, however, a total fluff magnet. Despite having a reassuringly chunky heft, it really isn't heavy at all, and fits easily into my skinny jeans pockets. Hey, I'm a 45-year-old dad who still wears skinny jeans. Don't hate on me. It is, however, easy to slip it out of your pocket when it's time to play. Sorry, I'm British, and we do own the rights to cringeworthy innuendo. And look, here on the side, what do I see before me? Real hardware buttons controlling volume and play and pause functionality, and you can do all this without taking the device out of your pocket or bag. At the bottom, we've got the charging port, micro USB rather than USB-C disappointingly, and a micro SD slot. The player takes a couple of hours to charge up, and then you've got up to 26 hours of uninterrupted audio bliss ahead of you. You do need to be aware that there is zero internal storage, so you definitely do need a micro SD card, and thankfully it takes cards up to 512 gigs. Now they slot in with a satisfying action. Oh, I haven't got it long enough nails, but just be aware that the eject mechanism can be a little bit over enthusiastic, and if you're not careful, it'll fire your precious little SD card into oblivion. Oh, can't get it back in now. That's a bit of a problem I hear affects a lot of people. Now then, the 3.5mm headphone jack feels really solid and well made, and it stands out in this nice gold colour. There is again a really satisfying engagement when you put a jack in, and it fits in nice and snug. There are, I'm afraid, none of the fancy schmancy balanced outputs. For one of those or two of those, you'll need to shell out a few more quid. Something like the Fiio M11 will suit you well. So let's fire it up. As you can see, the screen is a little bit on the small side. It's a 320 by 240 pixel affair. Nothing spectacular for sure, but let's face it, you're hardly going to be watching a whole season of Breaking Bad on it. And it does get quite bright. This is actually on a low brightness setting. The area under the screen contains some touch sensitive zones that you can prod and stroke to get a satisfying result. Nah, that's too easy. I'm not going to say anything more. So if we go to categories, you can see your music organized by album, artist, genre, playlists, all the usual stuff. It supports loads of music file formats, both lossy and lossless, and I tend to use either FLAC or high bitrate MP3 if I really want to pack in a lot of music. Player even has support for high definition tracks up to 384 kHz 32-bit if you want to waste your money on some premium audio snake oilery. Watch out for my upcoming video on lossy, lossless and high resolution formats. I'm sure it'll all end in tears in the comments section. Touchscreen buttons are a little bit pernickety, but you do get used to them, and soon you'll be zipping your way through your music library by disconcertingly massaging the central touch bar. The interface is basic but functional. It runs on a somewhat weedy internal processor. The only annoying thing I've found is that I have to manually rescan for new files when I add them to my card. I just couldn't get the auto scan function to work, and that can take some time as the aforementioned weedy processor scans its way through your music like a standard bearded hipster in a rough trade record shop. Mind you, it doesn't smell as bad as an unwashed hipster, so that's something. But now we get to the important bit. The sound! How does it sound? In a word, it's fantastic. Certainly for the price, I would struggle to find something better. Fiio say it will be able to power headphones which have an impedance of up to 100 ohms, i.e. that's most in-ear monitors, as well as a fair few full-size cans. Okay, you're not going to power your 600 ohm Bayer Dynamics, but to be honest with you, it sounds great with my humble Sennheiser Momentum headphones. Now, if you plug in some sensitive in-ear monitors like the notoriously sensitive Shure SE500s, you will hear that there's hardly any background hiss. So those of us who enjoy classical music will be able to truly enjoy the quiet bits. In fact, I'm so impressed with how detailed and cohesive the sound from this is. The frequency response curve is reassuringly flat, meaning the player tries to maintain a neutral tonal presentation. I think it mainly succeeds. I even enjoy listening to it through my Shure SE846 in-ear monitors. I'm not going to get those out now, but you do need to know that these cost more than 10 times as much as this Fiio M3K. Honestly, if you thought you're enjoying music through your phone and a headphone dongle or something, you'll be blown away by the clarity and the engagement of the M3K. The only criticism I have is it doesn't sound the most expansive. The sound stage, you know, the awareness of instruments all around you, it really isn't that wide, and therefore it doesn't sound like a 3D presentation. I do think you need a little bit more power and a more expensive and highly spec'd DAC for that. Fiio relies on the inclusion of the AK4376A DAC. Did you get that? From AKM, and it's coupled with a really nice clean headphone output stage. It does get nice and loud if you're using IEMs. There are 60 volume increments, and I rarely crank it up to more than 15 when using IEMs, and maybe 20 to 25 with the full-size cans. Honestly, whilst I was writing this review, I just plugged in my Moondrop Starfields, love those so much, into the M3K, and I let the music wrap its warm arms around me. By the way, if anyone knows what song that lyric's from, let me know in the comments below. Don't cheat by Googling it. I know you all will anyway, but if you can resist and you don't know, I'll give you the answer in the next video. Now, the Fiio even has a couple of other tricks up its sleeve. First, it has an inbuilt mic, and this allows a recording function. It records in either WAV or MP3. Quality isn't great, and I'm not sure who actually does go around talking into their DAP like a madman. Secondly, if you plug it into your laptop, it can be used as an external digital to analog converter, or DAC. Now, the DAC inside this DAP, DAC and DAP, you see what I did there? It's likely to be much better than the one in your HP laptop. So what don't you get? Well, obviously you don't get any Wi-Fi connectivity, nor do you get Bluetooth, thank goodness, so you're out of luck if you are hoping to pair it with your PRODS. That's okay though. It'll give you a good excuse to rediscover the simple and carefree joys of wired audio. So, to sum it up, for £59, I think this represents an affordable and risk-free way to get into the offline DAP world. Just don't blame me if it becomes the gateway drug to an expensive hobby. Okay, I hope you enjoyed your first audio fix from the channel. I'll be back with another one soon, so look out for that. If you have enjoyed the video, please do me a favour by dropping a subscription to the channel, thereby rescuing me from 0 subscriber hell. See you next time, guys.